Okay, yeah, there we go.
It is my honor to introduce you Wimom Vandekeybusom, choreographer, dancer, filmmaker, photographer. So type and range of your activities is very extensive, and your company Ultima is traveling all around the world. Now you recently came from very successful tour in Mexico. So, and also Bratislavian movement presented your pieces, 3 pieces already, starting from 2013 with this iconic "What the Body Does Not Remember." So I remember that we all had we were very excited about the work. So maybe I will start because you are one of the leading personalities in dancing in Belgium since mid-80s. And maybe my first question would be like, how your artistic ambitions differ today from those at the beginning of your career. So what is your motivation, your approach to the work? What is different?
Well, I think that it's amazing to think that we exist more than 35 years and that I made more than 45 pieces. So sometimes I don't realize. I never could imagine when I started What the Body Does Not Remember, and I was still 23 before the premiere. So at 24, we were in New York, won the Bessie Award, also with the second show, Les Porteuses de Mauvaises Nouvelles. So everything started to roll. Of course, I must say, as a maker, I think to make a first piece is more easy than a second or third or fourth or fifth. You know, once you are busy, it doesn't count anymore. Everything is always difficult because you make it yourself difficult. You could choose for a repetition or something that works or this, that. Now, time changes too. The landscape around you changes. I must say, it took a long time before another generation was standing up and saying, now it's to us. And almost, let's say, maybe the last decennia, suddenly they were there and they wanted to change everything, which is good. And I like it. I like this combination also. I don't have to be, how to say, they have to kill their fathers. But on the other hand, it's interesting to see also the new generation next to the old one and not only isolated from the previous. In this way, I'm happy that I'm still find that my work is still in somehow renovating and that it excites myself. I don't have the feeling myself to repeat me. You know, I know much better what I have to choose and with what I can make a piece, but I surround me always with new generations because dancers now, the piece we are making now, Infamous Offspring, that premieres in November, it's all new dancers. So it's always new people where I adapt myself and I try to come with something from me that is specifically, probably people say that I have a very specific style, even a print, even if I don't think it's so defined, it's always fluid, it's always changing, and I betray myself, let's say. I'm always like, there is no rule. And the non-rule and the chaos is still ruling my creation, in fact, the intuition. That's different. Of course, the landscape is different. That, I always use this image, but I still think it's relevant, that I planted a tree in the desert and that somehow now people plant a tree in a huge forest because there is much more. So there's much more support somehow, even because of this, of the multitude. It becomes more difficult because you are not basically the only one who comes to claim a space, comes to claim funding. No, everybody is busy with that, which is also good. It's a lot, maybe too much, maybe a lot of people who are busy with that will never end up to can live from it, like I did for all my life. In fact, I was always busy. I didn't get rich, but we were always busy moving the things, creating, touring. Sometimes it cost money, sometimes you win, but people basically could live from it, and that's interesting, I think. Things get more difficult now because of also, we are established, we are next to young generations. But again, I think it's interesting because you see history. It's the same like what the body does not remember. Maybe it was a visionary piece, because if we would take it now again, it would sell. People want to see it and say, when is this made? Yesterday. And that's a good sign. You have other pieces who age, who have to drop out, I find. I recently saw also a piece, I was like, nah, it's not what it was, not from myself, but from somebody else. And I was like, yeah, it's not always. People say, take back blush, take back this, take back that. And then like, isn't it more interesting to make new work, even if it has to prove itself? So in this way, where I am, I'm still motivated, because creating a piece is the same restlessness of what I have to do, how I have to puzzle, what is relevant for myself, not only for the time spirit, because it goes too fast. Time spirit is from today to tomorrow. Something can be in fashion, not in fashion. And also we live in a polarized world with opinions, with social media. As soon as you do something, there's as many people who like it, as many people who fucking hate it. So you create always polarization now, while before people, organizers could come say, fantastic piece, but this and this and this and this and this, I don't like it. You have to take it out. And while now people don't like one little thing, and it's crap. But the importance of the general work is for me still there. So I don't mind to sometimes have people who really don't like it if the public is there. And I also don't like the star status of everything what I do is good. No. So it stays somehow for me the same, but the landscape changed a lot.
Yeah, I think it's also maybe a little bit because you really love extreme, and it's starting from the movement vocabulary where you really use a movement full of energy, which is danger, risk-taking, full of dynamic, and also the ideas sometimes are maybe controversial. You like to provoke audience, so I think it's very useful, and it's very that can create this kind of polarization as well. But yeah, I think it's for me, as far as I know, a little bit of your let's say repertoire. Also, I remember when I saw Oedipus, I was really very somehow it touched me a lot, and I had to really digest the piece. And sometimes provocation is strong, but I think it's good because it somehow make us think, and it's all. I think that's what art should do. So
I don't search provocation. I search more unleashing the certainties, the turning things upside down or doing. And my work is somehow direct. I don't think it's aggressive. A lot of people think it's aggressive. I don't think at all. We miss a kind of directness, a kind of clearness in society now, because everything becomes so ruled and there's so much artificial identity rules to make it possible that a multitude of people can live together. And people communicate more with social media than talk one-to-one. While communication, and I think at the end, art is a kind of communication also, is the one-to-one thing. And that's what I still like on it, that it's a live performance. I made movies, lots of movies. In fact, once the movie is done and the premiere is done, I never look to them again, almost. I find it, that was it, the art of making it was it, but I almost never look movies twice. I say, I saw that movie and I don't want to see it again. And the art of playing a show for 70 times, 80 times, 100 times, but each time rehearsing before, making the light, puzzling, is it good? Oh, it's different today. Oh, we have this difficulty. Oh, this can go wrong. It's still a living art. So I'm also not so much interested in staying alive after it's finished,
Yeah. So let's go to Hands Do Not Touch Your Precious Me, the piece we will present at the festival. You created together with Olivier de Sagazan and Charo Calvo. And with Charo, you already worked because she was also a dancer in your company, and it's a collaboration which is extended in a way. But could you tell us why, or what inspired you in Olivier's work, so you decided to invite him to create a piece with you?
Yeah, actually, it was the opposite. In fact, he came.
Good.
Yeah, it was I like his work. Before I was admiring him and so, and then he was in a festival and suddenly he came to us. He said, yeah, I'm doing 30 years trying to enter in my painting, become my painting, and all these famous videos, which are amazing, with so many viewers and so. But he said, I don't have a structure, but I would like to work with more people. And then, yeah, we worked, we did a week together. And so Charo Calvo was going to do the music. I think she's perfect for this because she is the amazing composer, sound designer, which is somehow established because she's a bit older, but she makes such a revolutionary, contemporary, crazy music that it's absolutely not melodic anymore, but she goes to the inside of the things, you know, So I knew she was going to do the music. And she came, in fact, with that idea of to work around Inanna, which is the goddess of Mesopotamia in the time of the matriarchat. And she learned me to know that goddess through Endenuana, who is a high priestess who wrote about Inanna, who is the goddess of the contradiction in the matriarchat, that you are like, how progressive this goddess was, what she all did and so, and that you are like, how conservative we are now, living in a patriarchat somehow. But the goddess of the dark and the light, the destruction and the creation, all these things that somehow I feel very close to me. You have to destroy to create. You have to go to the darkness to see the light. You have to hate to love. It's very close to each other. And it's themes that are very close to me. And I was so happy that she made me know this. And then, yeah, I started to read about it. And then Noana had a sister who was Ereshkigal, who was together with her. She stole all the mis from Enki. Mis were the values, the tablets, the first written tablets in clay. So Olivierom de Sagazan in clay. The first written human writings were written by a woman. And these were the tablets. They find 61 or something back, but they are over 100, which all are values, cultural values. The art of weaving baskets, the art of writing, the art of destruction, the art of non-gender, all these things that are so contemporary now again, because maybe we are going again to a kind of matriarchat thinking. It's clear there is a revolution in that, which I embrace somehow very much, because somehow I feel my brain thinks also chaos and this and that. I hate rules, and which is sometimes the world just busy with organizing the thing to limit us, put us in cages, in boxes. You have to know what you do, you have to define it, and so, which doesn't fit me at all. And so, yeah, Ereshkigal loses her husband. She's so sad that she goes to the underworld and becomes the goddess of the destruction, darkness, bad things. And it's perfect for Olivierom de Sagazan. In the beginning, he had difficulties to embrace the story. He said, why we need this? It's about you and me. I said, I don't think so. I think another world that we incarnate, you know. But after he loved it. And it was not easy because he's a strong artist who did long time the same thing. And I work also with people around. So for me, it was, they didn't have to do exactly like him. They had to, but later now he works with people from us in his works because he works with more people. He exchanges, and it's amazing. Pitifully, he's so busy almost that it will be another actor incarnating him. So the one that he educated and that he worked with, and so fantastic also. But yeah, Olivier is still another level.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it came all together little by little. It's a piece that's made in the pandemic. So we have these things of we can't touch and this and that. But at the end, it was a difficult piece, I must say. because of the timing, because of the harshness that Olivier could not come to Belgium because he was blocked with the pandemic. We had to do a streaming version as a first version to the public. And after we played it live, and many people said, wow, the streaming was so good, but live it's better. So in this way, I'm very happy. It's a very abstract piece that touches the inside. The people can be confused and walk out and say, what was this about?
Maybe, but the energy is really going through. At the end, I remember I was sitting there and I was really touched somehow. I had to, that was a lot of imagination and lots of very, very elementary message somehow at the bottom of the piece. So I think it's very strong. And also you play a character in the piece. So that's also I really very much like about it. And I'm really happy that you are coming to Bratislava, because also that how you use the camera and how the video projection is used during the performance. So I think it's something you really like to do. Is it?
Yeah, it came very spontaneous in the beginning. I was not in. But it was hard sometimes with Olivier I was a bit tired of fighting for ideas. And then I said, come on, sit on my back and we try something. Also, there was this character Enki, which is the upper god who had all the me's, but very soon he gets stolen. Bon, Inanna makes him drunk and gets as a present, when he's drunk, all the tablets, and then he assumes that. So it's a character that disappears quite fast. And I thought, well, that's maybe interesting, but we tried with this getting drunk, and so I said, that's not good. Just, I sell my mise for a camera. I started and I became an observer, and it was interesting. Also, what's very interesting is that I needed a goddess, a kind of person who could do. So I phoned back Lieve Meeuwsen, who was from not What the Body, but from Les Porteuses de Mauvaise Nouvelle, 10 years in the company. One iconic of my dancers, who was not dancer in the beginning, but an amazing performer. She's in her 50s now. I said, you are Inanna. And she said, what? I don't dance since 20 years. I make clothes. And so I said, yeah, but you're still very good. In the beginning, also difficult, but after so good, you know. Olivier is in his 60s. It's like, and then I said, okay, I go on, and we have these dancers, and it fitted. It came good. And yeah, I enjoy to play. It's sometimes not easy with the schedules and with all these things, but also it gives you a reason to stay in shape also.
Great. So we are really looking forward to see you in Bratislava. And also I think all this story you said, which is behind the piece, it makes it even more interesting for everybody, I hope. So maybe just for the end, because I know that Ultima is now a kind of institution, and also we are giving a space to the young choreographers. So what do you think, like, is it important that the established people, as you are also paying attention to the young generation? And how would you describe because this year festival is focused on Belgian scene. So I would be really interested to hear how you perceive a scene in Belgium, dance scene in Belgium nowadays. You said something at the beginning, but maybe let's touch this topic again a little bit from another perspective.
Yeah, first of all, we are not an institution. I am still I have a free company still. That means we don't have politicians. We don't have really. We are not a theater. We are linked to some theaters. I'm artist in residence in the Théâtre La Ville de Luxembourg and in the Royal Flemish Theatre, where Christine, my manager, who made Ultima
I know, yeah,
works there. You know. So this year is a year of change, which she absolutely deserves because she is busy a lot with the landscape, and maybe one or a couple choreographers that we take care is too few for her. So I think we have a studio, we pay it off, so it's not from the state, we pay it off as a visit way, fortune gaining thing, so after it stays from there, it's not from me. But I don't use the studio a whole year. We have 3 studios, in fact. So it's logic. Since we have that studio, everybody uses that. Everybody has keys, and when it's free now, everybody working with me can somehow use it, which is good. But beside, you need visibility. We produce separate buy-ins with several pieces, which were very successful. It was time for fresh new people. Now we have Zoe Demostier and Lucas Katangila, a Congolese dancer we will open in 24. Now, I don't want that these people become Ultima Vessers. You understand? They are called ultimates. We help them, we give them the network, we produce them from beginning till the end. That means touring, give them conditions to create and touring where possible, also still finding extra money and this and that. I think it's amazing. In the 80s, everything was possible. Now it gets more somehow, like in many places, more conceptual, more time linked, and more that from up, somehow they create for me a very small world. A world that's good and the rest is not good. And not so open, I find. You understand?
Yeah.
You put the artistic world as a kind of niche, and I never been part of that really. You understand? I have my public, but somehow this niche doesn't like me so much. Because I do what I want, or it doesn't fit done, or whatever. I respect that. Like even the reviews of my work in Belgium are the worst in all my travel. You understand?
Yeah.
That's like people. Maybe it's a tiredness. Maybe it's a kind of averse of trying to bring new people in while I produce new people while I do, and. I am a bit like, why to make it so small, you know, so European. That's why I like to go to Mexico or to Korea or to that, where there's another view on the work, where there is a memory, where the context is important. They never see a work away from my first work.
We will be very happy to have you here, and we can go on in this discussion together. So for now on, I would like to thank you, and I'm looking forward to see you in Bratislava. Thank you very much.
Happy to come. Okay. Bye-bye.